Welcome to the Union Weekly Insider. I'm Allison Meyer, and this is the official podcast for the Union Weekly out of Cal State Long Beach. I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what it takes to put together a weekly publication. How much do you know about the ASI Media Board? Hopefully a little. We touched on the topic last semester in episode 9, the eyes that watch over them. However, today I'll be taking an in-depth look at how the media board functions and what happens when there's conflict. But first, a recap of what we do know. The ASI Media Board works as an advisory board for the three branches of ASI Media, Union Weekly, College Beat, and K-Beach. They meet once a month to try and steer media outlets in what is hopefully the right direction without directly taking charge. The board consists of 4 trustees at large, all of whom are students. There's also the president's designee, the faculty representative, and 1 representative of ASI Senate. The other half of the board consists of the managers of ASI Media, which includes our very own editor-in-chief, Alex Ramos. Alex and the other managers are non-voting members of the board. Since episode 9 aired, I've gathered a bit more information. Alex was kind enough to share the origins of the media board with me.
So their job is, the media board was made, I believe, a few years ago in response to some events where things happened in ASI Media with the Union Weekly, K-Beach, and College Beat, and they were not good things. I only know of one of them where an article was published here and it got a lot of backlash because it was seen as offensive, and so I believe the people involved in that article had to go and testify up in front of ASI Senate, and they had to defend themselves. And because of that and some other things, they established the media board, and the media board is supposed to be our liaison between ourselves and the ASI government.
Julio Rosales, the current chairman of the media board, elaborated on how the media board acts on behalf of ASI Media.
So ASI Media Board is like a subsidiary board of the ASI Senate. So they are under the purview of the Senate. So everything that the media board does has to go through Senate to be for final approval. Is how that goes. And so we always report to Senate, and they are the ones who kind of do everything there. We are in charge of kind of just more. Our responsibilities are to oversee the 3 media outlets that we have here in ASI. So K-Beach, Union Weekly, and College Beat TV.
My confusion about the media board came from the fact that they're an advisory board that can make decisions that directly affect the media outlets. Alex explained to me the extent of the media board's powers.
They have power as far as, deciding if we can do certain things. I myself am unsure of how far that power goes, but I know they can decide where our money goes, whether we can go on certain trips, or whether we can buy certain things, whether we can implement new programs. They have the power to go for or against that. They can also, I believe, hire new people. They're the ones that we go up in front of when we make our case to be hired as editor-in-chief or as executive producer or general manager for the 3 areas. So that's basically where their power lies.
While the media board does make these decisions, only voting members have that power. As mentioned before, the 3 media managers are non-voting members of the board.
So we don't have voting rights because, like I said before, the media board are the people that vote on whether or not they hire somebody new. Their thought process is, if the 3 leads of the departments have voting rights, then we would just start hiring just strictly people we like. We would just say, that's a good person, let's hire them, whether or not they're qualified or not. So that's why they don't give us voting rights, is their idea.
However, the matter of voting rights led to conflict when a proposition to add a 2nd Senate representative to the media board arose. Julio said that the proposed addition of a Senate member was to bring more student representation to the board.
Media Board. So right now there's already one senator on the Media Board,
Okay.
ASI senator, and they kind of represent more student government, more student positions, and the whole time with the student senators and everybody pretty much in ASI, we're all students and we're representing student interests and stuff. So right now we have one senator, and the idea behind it to have possibly a second senator was just to have more representation on the board of people who can be able to vote and just help things kind of go along. So the idea is that instead of just having maybe one senator, we wanted some more student government involvement as well into it. Because right now we have a faculty representative on there. We have another staff from the student services. On our board, we also have like 4 trustees at large, which are all voted in specifically for that board.
Right.
We have a student senator, and we had an idea of possibly adding another senator as another voting member on there. And so it was more just kind of a discussion to say, well, do you think this is necessary? Do you think that maybe we want to have just another senator? Do we want to possibly have maybe like an executive on our board? Because the idea is that a lot of other boards within ASI, like the board of control, the board that's in charge of like all the things that kind of go on within the student union, they all have kind of like executives on there. And so I guess we kind of were a little bit unsure of why we were the only board who didn't have that.
But this wasn't going to fly with Alex.
The whole business with adding more voting members, especially from ASI government side, is that for me it was I felt that it would possibly go against us in the future because maybe we end up publishing something in the future that again is offensive, unfavorable, and so now with 2 voting members from ASI government, they would have more power to take away some of our rights, some of the things that we can do. They always say they can't tell us what to publish or tell us what to do, but for me I would rather not give them the chance to do that. I would rather not, run the risk of that happening. I'd rather just the media board remain as neutral as possible so that they're not strictly aligned with us and they're not strictly aligned with ASI government. They're just there to decide what's best for both of us. So that was my whole issue with that. And thankfully, the proposition did not pass. We did not add another member in. We do have that one member that's already included through the working rules, and she's nice. We all got to meet her yesterday. She's someone new that they assigned for this semester, and so I'm excited to work with her and the rest of the media board. It was never anything I have against media board or ASI government, but it's just making sure that all the parties are equally represented and making sure that one doesn't have power over the other. So.
While the proposition was struck down, a middle ground was found. Here's Julio with the compromise.
We wanted to make sure that, because when you have your senators, they're the ones who really represent the board on a weekly basis in Senate. And so the idea is that, if there's a senator who happens to maybe miss the meeting of whether it be the Senate meeting or miss our meeting, it can be a big loss to the board of things that we might want to get done, because who's going to really be there to kind of explain what is going on and what's happening. So the idea, a lot of things behind it is that we wanted to just be sure that we wanted to make sure we still have some of that representation. So I guess kind of the compromise that kind of came up is that the 3 media managers are said, that we want to be present actually at the Senate meetings. So like, can we? And then the senators are like, yeah, you're definitely invited to come over to the Senate meetings. You can speak there if you want, talk and kind of say, what's been going on here, and kind of just put them back onto the map. So I think that was kind of more of the oral kind of compromise that what it came up, and I think it's pretty good because we want everybody to kind of be involved and show that ASI is not just the student government and all the other kind of like organizations, that we're all kind of one organization. Everybody should have input with everything.
Hopefully, this compromise leads to a more productive relationship between media and government in the future. Thank you for listening to the Union Weekly Insider. To listen to more episodes, check us out on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast apps. New episodes of this podcast drop every Wednesday during the semester. Our multimedia manager is Allison Meyer. Music in this episode is from the YouTube audio library. You can find issues of the Long Beach Union Weekly online at lbunion.com and on Medium. Go to medium.com and search Long Beach Union Weekly. Please follow us on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Union Weekly.